What is up, you beautiful people? My name is Rito and welcome to another video. And this is going to be a very, very important video for a lot of people in 2019 especially. And I actually announced it in the dual group earlier that I would be focusing a lot on long-term sustainability and creating a long-term business in 2019. So a lot of my content this year is going to be to enable you to create a business that lasts for a longer time, that gets you like consistent income for a while, and that is something that's sustainable, right? Because it's not just make a business and then throw it away. You have to work on your business, and in order to succeed long term, there are certain things that you need to be doing right. And these kind of things make, even though they might be boring, but they make a big, big impact on your business, on your profitability, and on actual money hitting the bank account. So while this might, the topic that I'm going to cover in this video might seem a little bit boring, but it is so important that I do hope that you pay attention to this video and keep watching till the end, okay? Do we have a deal? Okay then. But before we begin, if you're not subscribed to the Flying Start online channel, go hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. And so let's begin with the actual content. Dropshipping is changing in 2019. And what changes it's going through and how it's going to impact your business. I'm going to cover several topics inside this video. So it's important you understand what I'm trying to tell you guys. No, dropshipping isn't dead in 2019. It's a business model that's existed for decades, is going to continue for decades. But it's how you approach this business that's been changing. And it's as it gets more and more popular, as it gets more and more competitive. And by the way, competitiveness is not really a bad thing per se. Yes, it does impact your, cost per clicks and whatnot on Facebook. But what you have to imagine and what you have to know is that as more and more people get inside dropshipping, companies like Shopify, PayPal, Facebook, and all these other companies that we use to run our dropshipping business, they are more and more inclined to provide better services tailored to our needs, with better pricing that's tailored to our needs. But they need to be careful because there are certain risks with dropshipping, especially with shipping speed and people not actually fulfilling products. In Bizathon 7, I told you guys how people were just scamming by selling products that didn't even exist. So there are, of course, all these possibilities there, but what these companies do, like PayPal, for example, what they do is they put your account on review and then they, put up a hold, also sometimes a rolling reserve. What Shopify does is that it also places like a 25% hold on Shopify payments. For some people, it hasn't occurred for me, but for some people that happens. And now, and this is the important part, and this is what I want to primarily talk to you guys about in this video. Dropshipping is changing in 2019 because Facebook has started to understand that dropshippers are out there. And while Facebook does understand that dropshipping is a legitimate business model, it still wants to protect its interests, and this is important for them and for us. Actually, for the real dropshippers and for people who are running a proper business, it's not really that big a deal, but it is going to impact a lot of you guys. So pay attention. So for anybody who's running their business properly, you have to understand that your business is going to keep going on. But what you have to understand is that Facebook has started a new thing which is called customer feedback. Now, in order to see your customer feedback for your page, because what Facebook does is it assigns a customer feedback score to a particular page. And what it does is that it surveys your people. So Facebook knows which websites are like e-commerce websites, and it primarily does this for e-commerce related websites and pages. So what Facebook will do is, because Facebook is tracking all the data using your pixel, so Facebook knows which people actually made a purchase on your store, right? Because those people hit that purchase pixel and Facebook knows, all right, this person purchased this product from your store. So what Facebook does is that it then shows a survey to them and it puts up in their notification, it comes up in their feed, and it's basically something like, hey, we noticed that you purchased a product, so would you mind sharing your feedback on that? And a lot of people do take that survey and let Facebook know about what kind of service they got from your store. And why this impacts you is because of three primarily reasons. And I'm going to cover each of these, like how Facebook calculates their customer feedback score. But what you have to understand is that the score is on a basis of from 0 to 5. Your score can range from 0 to 5. If your score lies between 0 to 1, and I'm actually going to show you this, then your advertising is going to be disabled. Facebook cannot, that page won't be no longer allowed to advertise on Facebook. If it's in between 1 to 2, then your ads receive a delivery penalty and they will cost more and reach fewer people. What this basically means is that if your Facebook customer feedback score for that particular page where you're running from your ads from, if the score of that is between 1 to 2, your CPMs will be higher, it will reach lesser amount of people, so you'll actually have to end up paying more to acquire your customers. Now I'll explain why that happens and how you can prevent that inside this video, so keep watching. So if your feedback rating is between 2 to 3, which is going to be most of the drop shippers out there, because of like higher shipping times and because of the product quality not being known, so most of drop shippers in the beginning stages to mid stages will always be between 2 to 3. And what this means is your feedback score is low, right? And it basically, while this does not mean that you will face a delivery penalty, but if your feedback rating keeps going down, what I've noticed is that even if your score is not between 1 to 2, even if your score is between 2 to 3, on the lower spectrum of 2 to 3, which is between 2.1, 2.2, your CPMs do start to go up, right? If you increase your score to like 2.8 or 2.9 or maybe even 3, then your CPMs again start to go down. I've actually noticed this on hand with my Facebook ad account, and this is what a lot of people face. So your goal should be 3 or higher, and between 4 to 5 it basically means average satisfaction, which means it is on par with other e-commerce stores. 4 to 5 is basically you're doing a fantastic job. Now, how does Facebook calculate this score? Well, what Facebook does is it asks people to rate on a scale of 1 to 5 on 3 primary parameters. One is customer service, the other is shipping speed, and the third is product quality. All right, all these 3 matter, and I'm going to tell you how you can actually ensure that you get a good customer feedback rating. And this is why this is important, right? If you have a low customer feedback score, then of course it's going to cost more, it's going to impact your profitability by a big deal. And it's going to actually maybe even, let's say you had profitable ads before, if your delivery rating goes, if your customer's feedback score goes below like 2, then you might turn actually unprofitable, right? So I've actually had a few students for whom this applied, and what you want to do is not go below that 2 mark, while it may be difficult to attain, especially because you don't know what the product quality is like. There are a few things you can do to ensure that your delivery feedback, your customer feedback, remains as high as possible. And what are these 3 things? As I told you, 3 things. I'm going to start with product quality. In order to, of course, make sure your product quality is good, it's always best to get the product imported to your doorstep, check it out yourself, see if it works or not, if there's a problem with it. For most of my winners, I actually asked the product to come to India, and I actually tried the product out. And if it does not work, then I've actually had to stop my ads also for certain products. But for the products that do work as promised, so I do keep those ads running. So you want to check your product quality. But let's say you're just testing products and you don't know what your product quality is like. In that case, what you want to do is make sure the seller ratings, the vendor ratings on AliExpress and other platforms is great, and that they've gotten good stars, 4.8, 4.9 stars. You don't want to try anything that's like below 4.6 or 4.5, because it just basically means the product isn't good or the shipping speed isn't good. So a lot of factors determine that. So in terms of product quality, that's the best you can do. And once you actually start selling a product, before scaling it, I would actually recommend you ask the product to be shipped to your home so you can check it out whether it works or not. If it actually isn't that good, then don't advertise it, don't scale it, move on to the next product. All right, because again, keeping these things in mind, that if you want to run like a business for the long term, if a product does perform like the way it's supposed to, people will be happy with it. They'll let that feedback, they'll give that feedback to Facebook, which in turn will actually help improve your customer feedback score. Now, the second thing that matters is your shipping speed, and this is where a lot of people get stuck. And before I actually talk to you guys about shipping speed, I want to just show you how the customer feedback page looks like. So Facebook shows review opportunities to improve, and under there they show product quality as well as shipping speed. In this case, 77% were dissatisfied with product quality and 23% were dissatisfied with shipping speed. And in this case, you see here, this is the positive feedback that the ad received, that customer sent my way. So this is 64% were satisfied with product quality, 27% were satisfied with shipping speed, and 9% were satisfied with customer service. So all these 3 things matter. And the better you can improve, you can keep improving each of these metrics to actually help improve your overall customer feedback score. So let's move on to the shipping speed metric, which a lot of people will face, because especially dealing with AliExpress, some vendors do ship out quickly, but some don't. So what if you're stuck with somebody who doesn't ship out quickly? Now let's say you're in the testing phase, right? In that case, like for at least the first few weeks of testing, the customer feedback score won't impact you as much because you're just trying out products. The number of orders will be low, especially in the first few days. The more you start to like find a winner, let's say you found a decent winner and you want to start scaling it, it is very, very important you move on to a vendor or a provider who can actually ship the products faster to your customer. There are two ways of doing that. One is, of course, to purchase in bulk from Alibaba suppliers who are manufacturing this product and get them shipped to a US warehouse. It can either be ShipBob or dollar fulfillment. These are the two main services I have used. And the second option is, of course, to use like a dropshipping agent. It's a term that has become very popular in 2019. And in order to find dropshipping agents, you can just Google it. There are, of course, several websites out there that will come up. There are also individual dropshipping agents who are basically Chinese people who basically keep like a small amount of inventory with them, and they don't have like this processing time, so they ship out really quickly using e-packet and other methods of shipping. So in order to find those dropshipping agents, just go to some Facebook groups that are like the big dropshipping groups, and then go to search inside those groups for like agent or sourcing or fulfillment. You'll find certain people in there, contact them, look at some reviews of people, and listen, you're not going to find a perfect person in terms of like fulfilling, because some are going to work properly for you, some aren't, because let's say you're dealing in small volume, so they're not going to pay that much attention to you. They of course want like higher volume. And when you do reach a higher volume, you of course want to move on to like the US warehouse, right? You don't want to keep shipping from China at that point. So that is one way to ensure like you have proper, like better shipping speeds in order to get better results and better customer feedback on your Facebook page. The third is, of course, customer service. And this is also like a 3 metric kind of a thing for emails, for Facebook messages, and for Facebook comments, right? So you have to pay attention to all these 3 and make sure that you are on top, or you have hired a VA who is on top of these 3 things. They're regularly checking emails, they're regularly responding to customer comments, and they're also regularly responding to customer messages, right? You want to make a priority to reply to people who actually placed an order from you, to let them know about tracking information, whether they want a refund or not. Make sure you're on top of the communication, all right? Don't let it lag behind. It should be something that's in priority, because that's going to in turn affect your customer feedback score, right? So all these 3 things combined, like, sometimes you might not be that good with shipping speed, but if you can provide like excellent quality product and excellent quality customer service, that also helps keep your, a customer feedback score at par. But if everything is going wrong, let's say you don't have good customer service, let's say you don't have good shipping speed, and your product quality isn't that good, then your feedback score actually might go between 0 and 1, and that's a dangerous position to be in, right? So you want to try and be between like 2.5 minimum, all right? 2.5 to 3, or 3 and above is of course great. So that is it about like dropshipping, the changes that are undergoing in the dropshipping world right now. And while this is a good thing for like us people, because like if you're running like a proper business, you found your winner and you're scaling properly, you have like a team set up who are doing your customer service as well as shipping out your products on time, quicker from US. So all of these things, when you have a model set in place, then it becomes much more easy to run a business. Your customer feedback rating, the example that I showed you in this video is of course for a page that I used to advertise before. I don't advertise on that page anymore. It was a different page altogether. So what I wanted to tell you guys about is that like for people who are doing a proper business, they would pay attention to like product quality and shipping speed as well as customer service, and then they would actually gradually, even if you actually reach the threshold of going between 1 to 2, then you want to try and improve that and make it go above like 2, 3 and above, right? So this is the big change that's happening. It's great news for like ethical and honest dropshippers out there. It is bad news for people who are just trying to scam people, because they're going to get caught really quickly with this, and they're going to be out of business very, very quickly, right? So that's great news there. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to give you some insights on how dropshipping is being affected with all these companies who are getting into the free fray with how popular dropshipping is getting. They are making the changes on their platforms, so it becomes a better place for customers as well as for us dropshippers, leading a better lives and running a proper business. That's it for this video. Hit that thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, okay, tata, bye bye.